Hey y'all. So I am definitely behind on videos. Today is Sunday, December 6th, and we're going to just jump into it. It's been a few busy weeks, and I'm heading into another busy week, but it's good stuff. So no complaints. But that's also why these videos have not been as consistent as I would like. And I'm also hoping you can hear me because I'm trying to keep it like a low voice because it's late. I don't want to disturb anybody's sleep, but I also want to at least get a video out today or in the next few days so that I can maintain some sort of, I don't know, some sort of schedule. So a couple things. One, I've been doing my water challenge and I'm still doing that. And yeah, I've been able to maintain keeping that up since October 23rd. So a little over a month. A little over a month. My goal was to do 21 days. And now I'm just going to keep going and see how long I can make this part of my life. So yeah, that's been going well. And I've shared a little bit about my desire to lose weight and to get in shape this year, but then going into next year. So last week I was doing a cleanse. I mentioned before, and I actually started later than I wanted to, but I did do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of last week, where I just consumed liquids. So it was water, there's a green juice that I drink, and then a lemon cayenne drink that I also have been getting. And that's what I did for those 5 days. And it was definitely hard. I could tell like my body was not happy about it. Yeah, I used to really like water, and now I'm like, I forced myself to drink it. And then I also learned I can't drink it too fast because then my body just like rejects it. So yeah, I'm grateful to be doing it though. I guess I thought the cleanse would make me feel a lot different, and it didn't. I mean, it worked as far as a cleanse goes without going into too much detail. But I want to get into the rhythm of just better eating habits. So originally my plan was to do 5 days on, 2 days off for a few weeks to kickstart the weight loss slash healthcare journey. And I just did my 5 days. And then so Saturday, I knew I didn't want to like go overboard because I've also realized a couple things during this process and or been reminded of things. Food is such a comfort thing for me. And I'll talk about that more in another video. But I realized that a lot of I can look back on seasons of my life where I gained a lot of weight, and I know it's because I was like upset or frustrated about something, and it becomes this issue of control. So there are things that are happening outside my control, or things that I find frustrating or just bothersome, and I can't control them. And what I can control is what I get to eat, right? So my mind, it's like I just had a really crappy day and I'm upset about this, and this isn't working out the way I wanted to, and this other thing got messed up, and I'm gonna treat myself to ice cream, and I'm gonna eat a lot of it. And it's just not good. It's one thing to enjoy food, but it becomes this emotional crutch. So I'll talk about that more later, but it definitely reminded me of that because there were times this past week when I'd be upset about something or bothered. Sorry, I'm fixing my light. Or bothered by something, and I still had to maintain, what I was doing, and not give in to just eat whatever or to get some chocolate or some ice cream because I was upset. So yeah, there's still some things I'm working through there, but then also in the process of this, and I don't feel I think a cleanse is good to do just regularly. I think just the way the American diet is made up, I think it's a good idea to cleanse us, to make sure we're all cleaned out every once in a while. I'm glad to be doing this, and as hard as it is, I'm excited and I'm enjoying it. But all that to say, I was looking forward to being able to have food again, just because honestly, part of it was I just wanted to change of pace. I wanted something else besides that green drink and the lemon and cayenne and the water. I was over it. But so Saturday I ended up, what did I have? I had some crackers and I had a Chipotle bowl and I had a chocolate bar. That was Saturday. And then Sunday, today, I had this an egg. So I usually don't eat eggs, but I started eating them again because it's a quick way to have protein, and because I can add some flaxseed and some spinach in there, which is that's just my like go-to egg recipe. So I had that. I had a spinach and flaxseed omelet, and I had some biscuits, and that was it. That was what I ate today. So no sweets today, and I think I did pretty good. I'm really excited because I do want this to be a turning point in just how I eat. You know, I'm looking to be more disciplined in my eating and to be like no longer be eating emotionally, or like not making that my life anymore. So anyway, I'm excited about that. I don't see much changes in terms of my weight, but I'm determining to like not get frustrated by that and to just keep going. Like I didn't gain this weight overnight, and it's not gonna go away overnight. It's gonna take consistency, and yeah, what better time than now? I'm quarantined, like it's a pandemic. Where am I gonna go? So yeah, that's that. Also, so yesterday I wanted to talk to you about, it was just a really nice day. Like I just like to, there are just some days where you're just, I think it can be easy to harp on like negative things or things that trouble you. And I think it's important to, yeah, be grateful for and make note of days that are just nice, just nice days. So, and it was great. It was a little bit scattered and helter-skelter because I wasn't as organized as I should have been going into Friday. So I paid for it Friday. But then Saturday was really good. Can I tell you, this is going to be another post too. I need to go back and like rewatch this video and write down the ideas I'm having for different videos in the midst of this video. But I am really grateful for the friendships that have flourished in the middle of this pandemic. Like, I know that seems so wild, but as crazy and unpredictable as this year has been, there have been some friendships and some relationships that I've seen flourish, and I'm so grateful for, in the middle of like being separated and shut down and like distance from each other. But just the intentionality and the consistency and the encouragement and the accountability that like is needed in godly relationships and in all relationships, really. So it's just been just a real blessing, So we'll talk about that later. But I got to spend time with some of those ladies on Saturday, and just seeing like, I think before, for me, it would be really easy to like see people's behavior, and because it wasn't the way I received or interpreted love or affection, it was like I felt some type of way about it. But learning to think the best in people and to look for how we can love others instead of looking whether or not we're getting that love in return, I think opens you up to being able to see the different ways people care about you and go out of their way to like serve you, even if it's a way that you may not have ever thought to ask for, or may not even feel is necessary, but it's just a kind thing, So I'm grateful. Yeah. If you spent time with me, then this is about you. But there are other people who've just been really, yeah. I'm really, we've talked before on here about how relationships mean so much to me, friendships, and just knowing people, and just the gift that we are to each other. And God knew what he was doing, not wanting us to be isolated. And I love that. I love when we can see just the beauty of God through our relationships with other people. And I really have been. I've been able to this quarantine. And it's not been like every day's rosy, and because quarantine also can show you the parts of you and the parts of other people that like you're not really excited about, but even in that, we learn to persevere, we learn to push through, we learn to cover each other's issues, and we learn to communicate more. But yeah, Saturday was great. I got to engage some people who I've grown closer to during this quarantine, and even in that, like, I love our dynamic because we really help encourage each other, like, to pursue our passions and to just be who God called us to be. And I mean, friends like that, man, I, they're priceless. I think they're invaluable. And then Saturday night, we celebrated the birthdays. That's something that our church has been doing that I think is just wonderful. Just found a creative way to celebrate the birthdays that happen. And I love birthdays. You know, that's like Robin Fact 101. I love birthdays. I think we shouldn't take for granted that we are alive another day, another year, you know, another moment where we're on this side of eternity, because it's just not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. The next day is not promised. And, you know, I've shared before how important it is for me. I want to make good use of the time that I'm here. I don't always do a good job of that. Lately, I've probably done a terrible job because I've been giving a lot to work, and work is not eternal. You know, I need to give more of myself to God and kingdom and things that are eternal, things that are going to matter 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, you know, long after I die. So yeah, all that to say, we did the birthdays yesterday, and it was fun. It was really fun. I got to see some people who I haven't seen. I got to see people I haven't seen since March. And when I tell you the way it like warmed my heart, I was so excited. Like, I was missing out before on like just attending church. But it really does change things when you start to see the people that you were in church with as your family. And I had that when I was younger at the church I grew up in, because I grew up there. And it was a very big church, but we had like a little cluster, and it was like no matter how big the crowd was, I would always look for these people, and it felt like home if they were there. It felt like my goofy, quirky, awkward self was still going to be loved and accepted. Yeah, and I love that, you know. But then years being inconsistent, and then just like giving into a very carnal and cultural view of the church, I didn't have that. I had a very like observant, very like passive engagement with the church. And a lot of that was fear and insecurity and all these other things that came up. But learning to shed those things and fight against those things aggressively it allows us to just be able to have relationships with people that go beyond surface and go beyond like these little, just nothing, you know? I mean, essentially nothing, you know? Yeah. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And then I got to do this this Instagram live that we've been scheduling for a while, and we were baking cookies, which is like a favorite pastime that I used to do with my sisters and my parents. Really, my sisters and I did it together at our parents' house. And I mean, that brought back some old memories of just, I mean, it was just, I think this weekend was just a beautiful time of honoring like just quality relationships and people who I have loved and have loved me throughout the different seasons of my life, and the creativity, you know, like I talked about one friend in college who she knew I loved to bake and I hadn't baked in a while, and she knew I was stressed at that particular season, and she went out. We were roommates at the time. She went out and bought me all these ingredients after I picked a recipe from a book, and she made sure I had all the things I needed for the cake, and she left the room for the evening and was like, listen, just bake, you know, like have at it, you know? And it was, I mean, I know that can sound so little, but it meant the world to me. And it still means the world to me that she thought enough of my emotional well-being to like inquire as to what I enjoy to do to de-stress, and then to spend her energy and her money to make that happen, and then to make sure she was out. It meant a lot, you know, like that type of intentionality. It means a lot to me. And I think like there have been different times in my life that God blessed me with friends that were specifically like just amazing friends. And I'm grateful because I think a lot of them are reflections of his love for me and just reminders. So anyway, I'm going to do another video about that too, because I've had some great experiences with friendships, and I've had some terrible ones. And honestly, a lot of them a lot of the terrible ones I'm learning now are because of me, my own jealousy or insecurity or bitterness or, I don't know, fear for sure. And I'm grateful to be on the other side of that, but it's still a fight. It's still a fight for sure. So yeah, these are all things that, I'm working through, growing through. And I'm grateful to God. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. I'm grateful that God loves me. And I'm grateful that He cared enough about me and He thought enough about me and He saw enough value in my life that He created me and sustains me and helps me out of situations I've gotten myself in that were reckless. Yeah. He knows all my flaws, all my mistakes, all my idiosyncrasies. Did I say that right? And He loves me the same. And I'm grateful. But yeah, so we ended yesterday with a Instagram live of me and one of my housemates cooking cookies. And my sister got on, and there's some there may be some musical displays of, I don't know if you want to say talent. I'm going to say talent. Some musical displays of talent that you just might see if you take the time to watch the video. So there's that. I will make that also into a YouTube video, but we had tons of technical difficulties trying to film that. So we'll see how much footage I actually have of the baking process. But it was a great way to end the night. So it's been a good weekend. It's been full. Today was church, and that was wonderful. Yeah. I love God. He's really good. And I think sometimes I can get so distracted or weighed down with just like the temptation to be discontent about different things in my life, right? So like, I wish I had a car, and I wish I was making more money where I could have retired my parents and bought my own house and taken care of other family members and gotten out of this debt of student loans and all these other things, there are times I wish I was married, like all these other things. I wish I had 10 businesses that were running themselves by now and was just traveling the world. All sorts of things. I wish my hair was longer. Like all these little things, right? I wish I could just lose weight with a snap of a finger. And so discontentment will try and creep in so many different ways. And so just learning how to grab hold of just the good and beautiful things that I can have, that can happen in life, without fear, but then also to be at peace and to live in the joy that God offers now, to not wait for these other things like they're the answer or that they bring the joy, but know that God brings that joy and He's already brought it. He's already offered and extended the gift of peace, in the midst of not having those things. So yeah, it's a good time. And I always get a little bit like, reflective at the end of this year, and maybe because this year has been so crazy, a little bit like, I don't want to say emotional, but but it's a fitting word. Just thinking back, like it's been such a crazy year, and I'm just really grateful to God. Like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yo, I'm just grateful. I could never thank God enough. People ask me why I'm a Christian, and yes, I grew up in the church, and yes, it's the only faith I've really ever known, but I've also walked with the Lord through some things, where I've prayed and I've cried and I've done things I wanted to do. Like I spent time living, or, just doing whatever I wanted to do and not paying attention to what I learned growing up. And it didn't sit well with me. I did not like it. I felt empty. I could tell the distance between me and God, and I didn't like it. And, the more I learn about God, the more I learn about His love, the more I learn about His forgiveness. I can't imagine living any other way. And I wouldn't want that for anybody else, So anyway, this video is longer than I planned, like most of my videos are. But thank you for watching, and yeah, I'm here if you have questions or thoughts or comments or whatnot, or if you have any ideas of content you'd like to see. I am going to really watch this during the editing process and write down the ideas that I mentioned earlier as they were coming, because I do that often where I have these ideas and then I get in front of the camera and I'm like, hey guys. But I want to be more organized and have like a calendar of different dates to talk about different things. And I also want to get back into blogging because I find that it helps me process too. Although I'm definitely more of a verbal processor, my mind is just going so quick that sitting down to write it down, I feel like it just slows me down. But maybe I need to be slowed down sometimes. I don't know. Anyway, that's a lot. There's more on my mind, but I'm going to keep this short. And yeah, that's it. You guys have a great day.